Hey guys, Tommy Gans here. Well, I want you to bear with me because what I'm going to talk to you about is going to sound a little odd in the beginning because you probably haven't heard this before, but I promise you're in for a real treat. Okay, we're going to talk a lot today about this baseball, and we spend so much time with our younger players, and I shouldn't say only younger players. I mean, you'd be surprised how many kids at the high school and collegiate age really have not been taught to pay attention to what this baseball does when they're playing. We have high school kids come in this batting cage, we'll pitch them 30, 40 baseballs, and we'll be asking them questions about what that ball did, where it went. You'll be amazed at how much these kids aren't even really cognizant of where the ball's going when they hit it. So we're going to talk a little bit about today, and we're going to let you know how important that is. One of the core fundamental things that we teach our players from 5 years old and up is when they hit, they need to pay attention to what this baseball does. This baseball is almost like their teacher, if you will, when they're out on the field. Whatever this baseball does, it is going to tell them what went right and wrong in their swing. So let's talk a little bit about the spin of the ball. Well, if you've been in on any of our lessons or a member of our blog area for a while, you know that we are huge on swinging down to the ball. That is the foundation of which we do all our instruction. So again, swinging down through the baseball, not level like a lot of young coaches teach their kids, but when you swing down through the baseball, what kind of spin do you put on the baseball? Of course, you're going to put backspin on the ball. And when you put backspin on the baseball, that ball is going to rise. So we tell our players to look for when they hit good hard line drives and that ball's got a slight rise to it, that's a good indication that they're swinging down through the baseball. When they swing up through the baseball, that's when you're going to get those lazy balls, the fly balls that don't have a lot of spin on them, a lot of carry, they're easy outs. That's because they're hitting up through the baseball and not driving down through the baseball. Okay, let's talk a little directional, left and right. What happens when a right-handed hitter is hitting the balls way left, fouling down the line or lining out to the third baseman? When you're hitting the ball as a right-handed hitter to the left side, opposite for you lefties, of course, well, that's an indication that you are way out in front of that baseball and you're not letting that ball get deep into the hitting area. Again, we spend a tremendous amount of our time teaching players to let the ball get into the hitting area where their core power is, not getting extended out front of the baseball. So you're going to find that when you're pulling the baseball, 9 out of 10 times, that's because you're out in front. Now, let's go a step further. What if you're grounding out to the third baseman as a right-handed hitter? Well, what causes ground balls? We get a lot of questions asked. Boy, my kid hits a ton of ground balls. How do I stop that? Well, you got to know what the cause is first. So what did the baseball do? It's on the ground. Well, it's the opposite of swinging down through it. If we take and we roll our hands over the top of the baseball, well, what kind of spin are we going to put on it? Top spin, the opposite of backspin. So if with backspin the ball's rising, with top spin obviously the ball's diving downward. So all your ground balls are caused by rolling over the top of the baseball. But what you're going to find is usually when they ground out, it's almost always to the pull side, because the further out in front you get, the easier, the more natural it is to just kind of roll over the top. So the deeper you let the ball get into the hitting area, it's a little difficult to roll your hands back in the air. So really letting the ball get deep into the hitting area is a real quick fix for hitting ground balls. But again, pulling balls down the left side, ground balls, that means they're out in front and they're rolling over the top. So that baseball tells them two specific things that are going wrong with their swing. They may not be hitting ground balls, they might be hitting line drives or fly balls to the left side, so they're still out in front of the baseball. They might not be rolling over the top, they might be doing a really good job of keeping palm up, palm down like they're supposed to, but they're still early. So again, this ball is going to tell them what's going right, what's going wrong, and hopefully they understand what the fix is. So, you know, I want to talk a little bit about the right side for right-handed hitters. Again, everything I talk about as a right-handed hitter, everything applies opposite for the lefty, of course. So, but I get a lot of questions asked, well, my son is a right-handed hitter and he hits those balls to the right field. Well, I'm going to tell you, most of the time I hear dads, young coaches, you know, when a kid's right-handed hitter is hitting balls to the right side of the field, come on, get that top hand through the ball, get that bad head through there, you know, swing earlier. Well, that's the wrong information. When you're a right-handed hitter and you're hitting particularly lazy fly balls over in that right side, It's because you have a bad angle to the baseball. You might be swinging down to the ball, but you might be swinging at a bad angle, more like a golf swing, and yeah, you're swinging down, but your angle is off. If you just increase that angle and get more of a direct downward swing to the ball, almost like a chop, if you will, we tell our younger hitters, just chop that ball in half. So if you adjust the angle, you'll get that ball back to in that gap-to-gap area where we like to see our hitters hit. So please, when you see your hitters, your right-handed hitters, hitting to opposite field, please don't tell them to swing earlier. Don't ever use the terminology, they're swinging too late. You are never late. You are never getting beat by a fastball, okay? I mean, you'll see in the major leagues, does anybody have a problem hitting a 92, 95 mile an hour fastball? No, it's all the off-speed stuff that they have the issues with. So it's the same thing in Little League. It's not, when your young players are missing fastballs, it's not because they're too late, it's because they got a bad angle to the baseball. So again, what did it do? What does it mean? How do you fix it? You try implementing that with your young players, and I'm telling you, it'll make a dramatic result. And the most important thing is, it'll give them something specific to focus on. So many of your young players, they're so worried about the pitcher's too fast or the chaos of the game situation. Get them to focus on this, and you'll be amazed at the result. Try it.